In this video, I'm going to show you how to develop faith. And faith is a crucial ingredient needed for the subconscious mind to materialize the things in your thoughts into the real world. This is how manifestation really works, not the woo-woo crap that you're always hearing. Faith is believing in the unseen before it's seen, and you need to do this in order to perform at the highest levels. I'm going to show you a process I've used on myself and hundreds of students to help us develop faith. It's a bulletproof process, works every single time. Let's get into it. I want you to imagine that you have never ever seen someone do a backflip on flat ground. So you've never seen someone do a backflip on the ground. I'm not talking about trampolines, I'm not talking about jumping castles, just talking about flat ground. Now imagine your friend comes up to you and he pops a double backflip right in front of you, just double backflip. This would be a huge shock to your system because you didn't think that this thing was possible, and now you get proof that it is possible. Now you're seeing that people can actually do this thing. Your friend invites you to a gymnastics gym. You go there and you see people popping off backflips left, right, and center. The trainer of the gymnastics gym used to be an Olympic medal winner in 1965, and he shows you a step-by-step process to getting you to develop your backflip. So you're seeing other people doing backflips, your friends doing double backflips, and you're now doing handstands and learning the step-by-step progression to doing a double backflip. You're starting to develop faith. You're starting to see that you can actually do this. A lot of times people don't have faith and the subconscious mind doesn't unlock the faculties they need to achieve things because they don't see examples of it. And we've seen this countless times, especially in sports. We often hear the example of Roger Bannister, the fast man who broke the 4-minute mile, and after that everybody started breaking it. But it's happened in a plethora of other sports as well. Just off the top of my mind, I remember Eddie Hall, who was the world's strongest man, I believe, in 2017. He broke the deadlift world record. He did a 500 kilogram, half a ton deadlift. Now the crazy thing about this is he broke the previous record by like 30 or 40 kilos or something ridiculous, something that just doesn't get done. Typically people break records by 1 kilo, maybe 500 grams, 2 kilos, this type of thing. He broke it by 30 and 40 kilos. And as soon as he did that, now other people are jumping in, trying to deadlift plus 500. The guy who plays the Mountain in Game of Thrones actually did 501 kilograms, and other people are trying to beat that record. So it's just, people are going for it like sharks now. It's not even something that's amazing. People are just trying to transcend that record. Or Conor McGregor, he became the first double champ in UFC history, and now that's kind of the benchmark. Every single champion who is good in mixed martial arts tries to get a championship in the weight class above them or below them, or go to another federation and get a belt there. So it's just become the norm now. Whereas when these people did it, it was exceptional. They were the example needed for these other high performers to ascend to the next level, for their subconscious minds to unlock, and for them to do the things necessary to reach that next level. Now, how can you develop faith? If you're like most people, you're likely born in humble circumstances. You know, your family is lovely, I know it, but they're probably not exceptional people. They're not high performers. Your friends are probably not high performers. The people in your society are not high performers, because if you think about it, the population of the world sits on a bell curve. The vast majority of people are in the middle of the bell curve. You have some people doing drugs and ODing on the streets just on the left side of this bell curve, maybe 2%, 3% of the population. Then the top 3% are the movers and shakers, the people that are really pushing the needle in the world. So the chances that you're going to be born into that type of society, that type of circle, is very, very low. So what can you do about it? How can you develop faith if you're not currently in that environment? Well, what I always tell my students and clients to do is to read biographies. Read biographies, especially autobiographies, because what they do is they humanize the pantheon. They humanize the great ones. When you read the autobiography, it's from the perspective of the person who's actually done the amazing things, not some secondhand account. And what you get to see is that this person here who you held on a pedestal previously, whether that's Elon Musk or Leonardo da Vinci, is actually a human being. They're actually a human being. They have flaws, they have fears, they have faults, they have all these things that you have. And their ability to ascend to ridiculous levels just comes from grit, from mastering the subconscious mind, doing a range of different actions that perhaps you're not doing right now. And you can do that. So it unlocks something in your mind when you see examples of people doing it. And the good thing about autobiographies is typically when people write books, whether that's a self-help book or whatever, there's an ulterior motive to it. Usually some sort of money motive. You know, the self-help book is the front of their funnel, and somewhere in the back end, you're going to be spending $3,000, $5,000 on some consulting or coaching. Now, not all those are bad, but there is an incentive behind what they're doing. So they're not going to give you everything that you want right at the front. Except me, I'm going to give you everything in Thriving. Make sure you download it. Link is in the description. But autobiographies are often written when people are in the later stages of their lives, once they've achieved a lot of the material successes. You know, death is knocking and they want to give back. So people tend to be quite transparent and give you the raw truth. So autobiographies are great. There's autobiographies by Nelson Mandela. There's biographies by Steve Jobs. There's biographies on all kinds of different people all over the spectrum, depending on whatever you want to do. Find 5 or 6 biographies from some of the greats in that area and read them over the course of the year and see how that changes your self-image, see how that changes your subconscious mind and what you believe is possible. Now, a second thing I get students to do is to watch documentaries, especially inspiring documentaries. You know, there's documentaries that are similar to biographies that kind of tell you the account of someone's life and what they went through. I recently watched one of Friedrich Nietzsche, which was very interesting. But there's also documentaries that show you the true potential of humanity and what we're capable of. Documentaries that show feats of engineering, people building the Burj Khalifa, people building the Hoover Dam, running into these crazy obstacles and surmounting them. These are documentaries that also unlock something in your subconscious mind when you see what is possible through sheer determination and willpower. So do those 2 things, pick up 5 or 6 different biographies on the subject of your interest and watch some inspiring documentaries where people accomplish ridiculously amazing things and see how your subconscious mind starts to change. See how you start to believe in the unseen and how that's going to benefit you in your life. Do this and I promise you'll be one step closer to living and dying well.